And we are back with Soul Healing with the ETs. Hey, today we're continuing with our souls want to experience everything. Now, the very first reason that our soul wants to incarnate here on earth is to have learnings, to experience matter. We humans are the physical vessel that our souls incarnate into to allow our souls to have the experiences and learnings they want to achieve in physical matter here on earth. The only way that our soul can have an experience with physical matter is to be in a physical body. And once that is accomplished, the very first thing our soul wants to do is to learn. So everything that happens to us, humans, rocks, plants, insects, fish, zebras, lizards, it's all part of a learning for our soul. Not only does our soul, which is a bundle of energy, get to experience what it's like being in a physical body, but it also gets to experience the relationships with the people and other living beings that surround us. Our life is packed full of experiences, even if we are not aware. Just think of every single thing that you do in a day and how your soul can learn from that. Oh, my human incarnation just scratched his eyelid for the 40th time today. How many times is he going to try to pull that piece of spinach out from between his teeth? Is my human going to bite his fingernails 100 times again today? These are all experiences from our soul's perspective, no matter how trivial and meaningless they might appear to be. Put yourself in our soul's shoes. Well, our souls don't have any shoes, right? But try to be empathic. Or is it empathetic? Empathic, yeah. Or is that maybe that's the same word? Yeah. Souls are direct creations from Source, and they never die, and they want to learn everything, no matter how mundane. So experiencing one human that loves to touch his face and bite his fingernails and fuddle around his mouth will bring about very different experiences than being in another human that never touches their face but love to sit their butt on their two hands as often as possible. It's all experiences, and our soul wants to experience it all. Everything that happens to us is part of a learning. It's difficult for the soul to be in a physical body because souls are usually free to explore and experience and have no limits. But when in a physical body, there are limits, such as the human body needs to sleep so that it can repair and restore, whereas the soul never sleeps. It's always off on different adventures, such as the human body gets sick, or rather has to detox or detoxify because of all the toxins that we absorb on a daily basis. Another big limit is communication. Our soul wants us to carry out the life that it has scripted for us here on earth, but we have free will. So it's only if we willingly participate with our soul's wishes that we will have an easier life. If we don't carry out our soul's wishes, we're just going to make it a heck of a lot more complicated to ourselves, and that can bring about confusion, negativity, and illness. Our soul wants us to do certain things because it's here to learn and experience those specific things. So if we go down a different road, then it'll get a whole bunch of different experiences. which is good for the learnings that it'll accomplish, but bad in that our soul set out to learn specific things that it still will want to accomplish in this present life. That is why we are assigned spirit guides, guardian angels, who are there to help us complete our mission and also there to bring us back on track to the desired path of learning that our soul set out to learn in this life to achieve its objectives. So let's say I had decided to leave the city and go to South America for a few years and explore all over the place. Well, my spirit guides would probably be coaxing me to do something telecommunications-wise, because that is what my soul chose for me before incarnating. Or maybe the spirit guides would have been coaxing me to come back to the city for one reason or another. I'm here to help with the Great Awakening, to help people think and reflect, to help people be less scared, and to help us rise into the fifth dimension over the next few years. Our souls send us messaging through intuition. And when we start activating this part of ourselves, that is where we start being aligned with our soul and its objectives. Thus, by being connected to our soul and listening to our inner voice, which is our intuition, we can make our lives so much easier and fulfilling as we are following the path that is set out by our soul prior to incarnating. If you're hating a specific job and it's stressing you out and it's making you ill, and your inner voice keeps prompting you to quit that job, well, it would be a good idea for you to listen to your inner voice. It's not because the other guy, who might be one of your best friends, not because he incarnated to make tons of money by being this big hotshot lawyer, that you have to do it as well. Listen to that inner voice. We are all here for different reasons. Everything that happens to us is a learning for our soul. Let's say you're unhappy in a relationship. Well, then you should listen to episodes 16 and 17 and then correlate them with where you are today. And guys, as much improvement as I have personally made in the past year, I still miss out on just obvious opportunities. And it's only when I think of it afterwards, it's like, oh, wait a second. My soul orchestrated that hot guy be at the clinic at the same time as me, and I didn't put two and two together. My soul had our paths cross. I should have gone over and talked with them. And vice versa, if you're heterosexual in this lifetime. Our souls want us to be happy. And they are super advanced beings. So we got to try to listen to our inner feeling as much as possible. If we listen to our inner voice and not our ego, we will not only be happier, but also get tons of information. Good information that will help us out in our life. Depending on the role that our soul wants us to experience so that it can get its learnings, some of us will definitely have a tougher life. That said, each life has challenges. Let us not forget that we all live millions of lives all over the universes and in all different types of dimensions, and that our souls never die. And each life that our soul lives is just a snap of the fingers from our soul's perspective, as time doesn't exist. So let's pretend that my soul wants to experience what it's like to be blown up by a bomb because right now there sure is an awful lot of turbulence going on Earth. Being blown up, wherever it may be, is just an experience from our soul's perspective. But it's also an experience for everyone connected to us. How will our mother and father react? How will our siblings react? How will our fiance and our boss react? How will our dog react? Our soul wants to know and experience all this shit. And it wants to experience it in different ways. Souls also want to experience loving in different ways. They want to experience jealousy and abandonment and betrayal and rejection and self-love and self-worth and friendship and solitude and death and so on, and sickness in many different bodies and races and sexes and sexual orientations in different countries and time periods, and with physical handicaps and with birth defects. Our souls want to experience everything. So let's get back to being blown up by a bomb. Everyone thinks it's a negative, but our soul doesn't. It's just an experience. Perhaps in the next life, the guy who was blown up will want to be the one setting the bomb. And the one who set the bomb in the previous life will want to be the one who gets blown up. Because our souls often want to experience both sides. It's simply experiences. Then the soul that was blasted by the bomb and set the bomb will be the fiance of the one who got blasted. And then in the next life will be the wife of the one who set the bomb. And then will be the mom of the person who got blown up, and then be the mother of the person who set the bomb, and then be the father, and then the brother, and then the fiance of the one who got blown up, and the wife of the one who set the bomb, and then the sister, and then the politician who supports bombing the perceived enemy. You know, this whole thing is actually quite absurd, because we're all souls from the same source. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all part of one another. But heck, our souls are here to learn and experience. Will the fiance of the guy who got blasted by the bomb go into a deep depression and die from that? Will she become vengeful and go after the one who set the bomb? Will she become an anti-war spokeswoman who will travel the world telling people how bad wars are? There are tons of possibilities. What will she choose to do? Then our soul will want to be the politician who supports the bombing, but only as long as he gets a big fat envelope full of money before he says those statements. And then our soul will want to be the man in Canada who says, "Hey, that's ridiculous that they're doing that to people out there." And then he works for a military armored truck manufacturer. And then our soul will want to be the Canadian guy who exposes all this in a podcast. In another life, our soul says, "Hey, I want to learn what it's like to lose an arm and have severe burns on my upper body and face. What will I do with this outcome? Will I become all discouraged and have a shitty life? Or will I realize that it is a learning and push through with high spirits and confidence and succeed in life, despite looking different than everyone else out there? Will I let myself die? Or will I go through this because of my will, and not only will I live well, but I will live really, really well, knowing that I conquered this challenge? It's all experiences as far as our souls are concerned. And our souls want to experience everything. In another life, our soul will want to experience what it's like to be a fat man who falls in love with a skinny woman. And then in the next life, our soul will want to experience being a skinny guy who falls in love with a fat woman. Then in another life, our soul can experience being a trans man who falls in love with a trans woman. And then be the mom and the dad and the brother and the sister and the boss and the fiance. And then be the man in Canada who says, "Oh, isn't that the most beautiful couple you've ever seen?" And he's an artist doing portraits of couples that are just about to get married. Quit living in fear. We all die over and over and over again. So what? Try to connect and align with your soul as best you can, and live this life as you were meant to live it. By climbing your mountain, by completing your soul contract. And that's what is going to bring us the biggest joy and sense of accomplishment in this lifetime. Be cognizant that this is all a big play. It's all pre-scripted. It's all orchestrated by highly advanced beings. We are all actors in each other's plays, playing our roles to the fullest, so that we can make the learnings that our soul set out to learn. We are all here to learn and to help each other learn, because we are all souls from the same source, with the same objective, to learn everything that there is to learn. The sooner that we can realize this, the sooner we can focus on why we're here and try to figure out what we are trying to learn from each other and what we are meant to be teaching or helping with others. Now, on top of that, our soul is multidimensional, so it can be in different people and aliens and non-physical beings, all at the same time throughout all the different universes and dimensions that exist. And I'm very serious, but it's comical. Okay, that's enough for today. I'd like to dedicate this podcast to Jesus, and I'll see all of you again soon. And hey, if you like this, give her some thumbs up. It'll attract some other people to the channel. If you know of anybody on an awakening journey that you think that this might help, please send it off to them. That's the whole purpose of doing these podcasts, is to help other people. And if you have any questions, throw those down in the comments section. Love to hear from you. On that, I'll see you next time on Soul Healing with the ETs, and good choice tuning into this channel.